Hello, good morning everyone. We're about to start a new tutorial. It's quite an easy one. It's just a ring with 3 gems on the top. It's also requested by my friend Dominic. Anyway, we're going to start by selecting a ring rail as we did in other exercise. Ring rail size is going to be M. So we have our ring rail on the through finger view. We can maximize that view if you want. Remember, double click on the title so you can make it bigger, alright, in any viewport. I'm gonna keep on this view, on the 4 view, and I'm gonna start by placing the gems. So I'm gonna go onto the gems menu, which is this one, okay, and the first icon, which is gem loader. If we scroll down, we'll see here, well, sorry, by default it will be like this. So we will have to select first of all the gem cut. The gem cut we're going to use, it's the first one, rounded, and we're going to use 4 mil gems, alright? If you have a look at the first menu, you see the bigger one we have, it's 3.4. This, it's millimeters. This it's carat, okay? You see in the first menu it's not, we cannot see, so we need to go on the second tab. Now on the second tab, you see here 4 mil. Just left click on it, and now you see that we have a gem on the 0 enter. The 0 enter, remember that it's the intersection of the 3 axes. Right, so we have a gem here. We can get on the shaded, so we'll see it better. And we have to raise it up. So we can select the gem. We can actually do it on perspective if it's better. Actually, we can do it in almost any viewport. So we have to select the gem, F6, MSR, and just move this arrow up. Okay, just mind that the distance, we should check it on the through finger view, should be something like this. Okay, so that we have like a little distance, about half mil or 1 mil, depending on how do we work, alright? But something like this should be fine. Right then, now we need to make a copy of this, but we don't want to copy it just to the side. We want to copy it as I'm going to do it now. So we select the gem, click on rotate, which is here, left click, and now center of rotation is going to be 0 enter. But before, we should select here copy. So now copy is enabled, okay? Center of rotation, 0 enter. First reference point, straight up with shift, alright? So ortho is on at the moment. That's the first reference point. Left click, and now we move to one side, allowing some distance. We better remove the grid now, which is this button. Usually by default it shouldn't be activated. So the second reference point is going to be somewhere in there. Okay, now right click, because we don't want to make any more copies. So we have this gem here, and we want to place another one in the other side. We cannot use rotate with copy again, because it's really difficult to be accurate. To be accurate, what we have to do is select the gem and do mirror. Mirror and start of mirror plane, 0 enter, and again straight up. Okay. Now we have exactly the same distance between these two and these two. Alright? Okay, so now we're going to create the head that are going to hold these gems. We are not going to use the heads from Matrix. I mean, this head. Alright, we're going to use another one. We're going to make it more manual. So we're going to get into curve, and sorry, the first one, which is this one, art direction. But before that, we need, I'm going to make some points just to use them as a reference. Alright, so I'm gonna make a new point, which is here in the curve menu on the second block. Here, single point. I'm gonna place them in here, more or less. Maybe, yeah, something in there should be fine. And I'm gonna select that point, mirror, 0 enter, straight up. So I have an exact copy on the other side. Then, now curve, first block, arc direction. Okay, just a simple arc that is going to go from that point to that point. You see, now I cannot find that point. Why I cannot find that point? Because I don't have point on the snaps checked. Alright, so now point is checked. So now start of arc is going to be from this point, and the end of arc is going to be that point. And now direction of arc, sorry, direction of start, I should go in down like that. See, with shift, just to make sure that it's like a proper arc. You see now, so now we have this arc in there. I'm going to modify that arc, so it's going to be slightly different. You see now it's selected, it's highlighted, and I'm going to activate the control points, which is here, right? Now I'm going to select these 3 points. In this case, I will select from left to right, not from right to left. Okay. You see now I have these 3 points selected, and I just have to move down. So I'm modifying a little bit the shape of the arc. Something like this should be alright. Escape twice, just to remove the control points. I can select these 2 and delete them again if I want. And now basically what I need to do is select this line and make another one which is going to be like parallel to that line. That's called offset curve, which is in the second block of curve, second block, offset curve. Okay. You see here distance is set by 2.5 because it's the last one I've used. Distance should be around maybe 1 mil. Could be even less, but we're gonna make it, well, let's make it 0.8, 0.9. Okay. So now you see now I can go inwards or outwards. I need to go outwards, okay, to the outside. So just left click in here. Okay, and now I have this. Alright, now you see here I have too much metal. I should raise it up a little bit. So I'm gonna select this, move it slightly up. Okay. Now I'm going to fix this. You see that they are not really aligned, so I better remove them and to repeat again. Selecting the gem, rotate, with copy, center of rotation 0 enter, first reference point straight up. Now left click, now moving to one side, and something like this should be alright. Okay. Just mind that as all my tutorials, we are not doing it in the fastest way. We are doing it in the way that you can see more tools, more commands, and more variety of tools in general. Okay. Of course, there are always thousands of ways of doing this exercise, as all of Rhino exercise, Rhino Matrix or whatever. Alright, so now we have 2 gems. I'm gonna select this one, mirror again, start of mirror plane, 0 enter, and straight up with shift on the keyboard. Okay. Alright, now what else? I'm gonna select these 2 lines, and I'm going to do exactly the same what I did with the 3 gems. Rotate, with copy, center of rotation 0 enter. Okay. First reference point, shift up, and in this case, as I want exactly the same position as the gem, I need to check one of these points, one of the points which are in the middle of the gem. The best one, just to make sure, it's this one. Okay, in most cases. Alright. And in this case I can actually make mirror from these two curves, or I can just make another copy on the other gem. As long as I find this endpoint, it will be alright. Okay. Okay, I don't want to make any more copies, so right click. We should be having this at the moment. We're going to hide the gems. I'm gonna get into shaded. The gems now are on the gems 3 layer, and I'm gonna hide them. Okay. Basically because I want to clean this up a little bit. It's not really okay at the moment. Basically what I'm going to do is draw some lines. Curve here, well, polyline or line, doesn't really matter. Start a polyline from this endpoint to that endpoint, and in this case I better click on trim before, and I'm gonna select all these curves, well, all these actually, enter, and I'm going to remove this one, this one, this one, this one, these two on the top also. Okay, just to make sure that I don't have any extra line. Okay, I should be having something like this. Let me check. Yeah, that's right. And I'm gonna close all these lines, always from end to end. Okay. All right. Just to make sure that it's a closed line, I'm gonna select all of them and join. You see now here, one closed line. That's alright. That means that I do it right. If I have, like, for instance, I don't know, 8 closed lines and 1 open, I should fix it. Basically, it means that I have some open lines. The problem with open lines is that I cannot extrude them. I cannot turn those lines into solids. Okay. All right. Now we're going to select the ring rail, and I'm going to press F6, outside ring rail. This is basically the outside shape of the ring. We are going to use them to make a sweep to rail later and to create the actual shank of the ring. I'm going to move this a little bit like this. It's really up to you, okay? So yeah, 2 mils should be alright, and slightly less on the side, on the bottom. If I want to change that profile, I can just click on there, and I can select one from the library. Okay. Oops, sorry, not this one. I'm gonna stick to the first one. Yeah, something like this. Alright, enter. And now I'm going to go into perspective. Again, I'm going to select the ring rail, F6, and add profiles. You see now I have a profile that goes around the ring rail. I don't like this one. I'm gonna change this shape, this profile, by clicking here on the folder. I can also select here on this shape, as I showed you before. It's exactly the same. And I'm gonna select one I have previously created. No, I didn't create it, sorry. I'm gonna use, I don't know, this one for instance. I think it was the same at the beginning. Anyway, I'm gonna select the thickness, sorry, the width, about, the gems are 4 mil, so yeah, I'm gonna make it quite straight, quite 4 mil as well. Okay, now width is alright, but height is not, basically because you see it goes further, the outside one. We want it to be exactly the same height as we have from the ring rail to the outside. To do so, we need to select here second rail, and now basically select the outside, which is this one. You see, so now it really fits from the ring rail to the outside ring rail. I'm gonna add another one, another profile, so I'm gonna click on add, and I'm gonna move from this point to that point. Well, actually I'm not moving, I'm copying the profile. You see, it has adapted to this height. You see, this height now is different because we have more space in there than in here. Okay, but it automatically adapts. Also, I'm going to make it slightly narrower, about 2.5 for instance. That's it, 2.5. Alright, and then I want another one in the other side. I don't really have to click on add again. I just need to click on add mirror once, and you see I have the copy to the other side. Now enter, and now I have everything I need to create my ring. To create the actual chunk, I'm gonna use surface sweep to rail. The first rail is going to be the inside, the ring rail, the first one we did. The second rail is going to be the outside. You see, it's asking for the cross section curve. We're going to select 1, 2, and 3. Enter. You can adjust this seam. I think I explained it before in the surface ring tutorial. What's the seam? The seam is basically like where the surface begins and where the surface finishes. We can modify that seam to create different kind of surfaces. In this case, we don't want to make anything weird, anything strange. This is a classical piece of jewelry, so no experiments. I did some experiments on the surface ring already. So basically, we don't have to do anything. Just press enter. So press enter. You see, now it's like that, but as you can see, it's not closed. We want it closed because you see here we're running out of metal. So close sweep, preview. Alright, you see now it's alright, but you see that it's like smooth on the edges. That's basically because revealed is checked. If I check on do not simplify and click preview again, you see it's much more sharp, much more straight. Alright, so I'm gonna check it on do not simplify and close sweep. We should be having something more or less like this. And then press OK, and we have already the chunk. What else? These are the curves that I've used to make the head. Okay, so basically I need to make it solid. To do so, I better show the gems before, and well, just if it's better for you. And I'm gonna extrude that curve, that closed curve, solid, extrude. I'm gonna extrude it both sides up to this distance. This distance is basically 2. If I extrude 2, it's gonna extrude 2 in both sides. So now it's 4. 2 and 2. Alright? Okay, so basically that's it, but we need to remove that piece of metal that we have in there. To make it smoother, I'm gonna get in the two finger view, and I'm gonna make an arc going more or less from that point to that point. Something like this should be nice. Okay, basically what I'm doing is creating curves that I'm gonna turn into a solid that it's going to delete this piece of metal in the middle. So with this line, now I'm gonna make mirror from 0, enter, straight up, and now I'm gonna make some lines, well, polyline better, from that end point to that end point, and another one from there to there. This shape is not really important. I'm basically doing these lines to make a closed line. What I need is this, something that cuts. I mean, what I need now is a closed curve. Okay, so this is a closed curve. I'm gonna click on join. You see, one closed curve. I'm gonna get in perspective, and I'm gonna make a solid. So solid, extrude, curve straight. Okay, so now I'm gonna use this solid to cut this solid. Okay, as I'm working with solids, I need to make Boolean difference. Boolean difference, the first surface or polysurface is going to be the shank, so I'm selecting the shank and press enter, and the second group is going to be this weird thing we've done on the top, and enter. As I had delete input no, I still have this solid, so I select the solid and delete, and here it is. I don't really like it a lot, so I'm gonna modify this a little bit. I'm gonna make it shorter. I'm gonna select the head, transform, scale 1D, origin point 0, enter, shift in one of that direction, doesn't matter where. I'm gonna make it slightly narrower. Now it looks better. Okay, another thing. We're gonna make a render now. A really basic render. This is quite a nice piece, a nice ring to render. I'm gonna get into solid, fillet edge, and what I'm going to do is make those fillets a little bit smoother. You see, now this is really sharp. It doesn't look really nice on the render. It always looks better if it's slightly rounded. By default we have 1 mil, that's too much. I'm gonna make it just 1.10. Okay, sorry, 0.1. And the edges, I'm gonna select this one, this one, this one as well, this one as well. Enter, enter again. You see, now they are much smoother, and probably this one on top better. So again, fillet edge. I'm gonna hide the gems for a second, and I'm gonna select just these ones. Enter twice. See, now they look smoother. So show gems again. Now the actual ring is ready to render. What I need, it's a solid, well, a surface on the bottom of the ring. We're gonna check on render, and here the first option is V-Ray styles. We can render with other rendering programs, but honestly I think V-Ray is one of the best ones. We're gonna make a real render, well, that it looks real, so I'm gonna select on lights, camera, action. It's probably one of the best ones to make renders. Okay, and we need a ground floor. We have the option of using this one, which is by default with matrix, which is quite nice. But honestly, I think that it's better if it's, instead of a surface, we turn that surface into a solid. So we can extrude that surface and turn it into a solid. We have a surface already, and we want to extrude it. So we go to solid, and here we have solid extrude all, straight, and you see, if we extrude it down, now we have surface and a poly surface. We can delete the surface, we don't want it. And I'm going to add a material to that ground floor. I'm going to change it into another layer. I'm going to change it into user 001. Basically, because user 01, it's a material I like quite a lot, which is this one. It's pearl and white. I know it's not supposed to be a ground plane, but it looks quite nice, honestly. What else? I'm gonna get closer, and now you see our ring, it's on the metal 01 layer. Okay, we should always check here on the list which layer, which material is attached to which layer. If we render now, we're going to render this in titanium. We don't want it in that material. I'm gonna open that list and select white gold. Okay, so white gold is nice. We also have the options of editing materials and things like that, but we're not going to do that now. Now the ring is going to be in white gold. We need to select the material now for the gems. The gems, as we've seen before, they are on the gems 03 layer. Okay, so we check on the list. Gems 03 is diamond. Yeah, I'm gonna use diamonds. It's a really classic ring. Yeah, diamonds. Okay. Important, here we have the resolution. Usually the higher the better. The higher the longer it takes to do it, so it's really up to you. As this is just a tutorial, I'm gonna make it on this one. Okay, and now a little tip. Before setting render, well, of course you need to select perspective, okay, but before executing the render, before I start rendering, what I usually do is type in zoom and target, then select new camera target. I'm trying to find an endpoint or middle point on one of the gems and drag a little window on one of the gems, so I get closer up to this, and then by pressing Control on the keyboard and right click on the mouse, I get I move outside to something like that, and then click on render with the left button of the mouse. This last movement I did, basically what it does is like the depth of field, so it helps you to make the images much more real. Alright, well, now it's rendering. Remember, any doubt, any question or any suggestions, you can just subscribe on the YouTube channel or write on comments or send me an email, which I think it's on the YouTube channel somewhere. Okay, that's almost done already. Usually it takes much longer to render the gems because it's like more complex. Alright, so here it is. Thank you so much, and remember to let me know if you have any doubt, queries or whatever. Thank you so much. Bye bye.